Ladies and gentlemen, the FBI has responded to the massive fraud that was exposed by independent media journalists, journalism and media for the people, of the people, and by the people. The massive fraud that he exposed, Nick Shirley, he has responded. The director of the FBI, Kash Patel, issuing a visceral statement on X. I'm going to share that with you. Is this going to be the accountability that we finally see, that I voted 3 times for? And I know you did too. Also, President Trump is putting pressure on Attorney General Pam Bondi to finally get some action and get things done. And we finally hear from one mainstream media outlet who followed up on the story by Nick Shirley. Wait till you see what they discovered. And furious Somali migrants respond. They're angry that the fraud that they've been committing is actually out in public view. Imagine that. Okay, so this is breaking news on from the FBI on rampant Somali fraud. Things are about to get much worse for the Somali fraud criminals and their enablers. One FBI source says that the agency has surged investigative criminal units into Minneapolis and predicts, quote, public takedowns of Somali fraudsters soon. They say they are hyperbolically aware of Nick Shirley's investigation and it, quote, tracks, end quote, with ongoing FBI criminal work in the area. This is what Kash Patel just posted, saying, case update Minnesota fraud scheme. The FBI is aware of recent social media reports in Minnesota. However, even before the public conversation escalated online, he's talking about Nick Shirley and the fact his video, his exposure has gotten amassed over 80 million impressions with the help of you guys, me, and so many other independent journalists, essentially. I almost said outlets. That's not happening, who have shared this story. So thank you to you guys. The FBI has surged personnel and investigative resources to Minnesota to dismantle large-scale fraud schemes exploiting federal programs. Fraud that steals from taxpayers and robs vulnerable children will remain a top FBI priority in Minnesota and nationwide. Please come to California next, Kash. To date, the FBI dismantled a $250 million fraud scheme that stole federal food aid meant for vulnerable children during COVID. The investigation exposed sham vendors, shell companies, and large-scale money laundering tied to the Feeding Our Future network. This case led to 78 indictments and 57 convictions. Defendants included Abdi Wahab, Ahmed Mohammed, Abned Ali, a bunch of names I can't pronounce, each charged for roles ranging from wire fraud to money laundering and conspiracy. These criminals didn't just engage in historic fraud, but tried to subvert justice as well. Abdi Majid, whatever, and others were charged for attempting to bribe a juror with $120,000 in cash. Those responsible pleaded guilty and were sentenced, including a 10-year prison term and nearly $48 million in restitution in related cases. The FBI believes this is just the tip of a very large iceberg. We will continue to follow the money and protect children, and this investigation very much remains ongoing. Furthermore, many are also being referred to immigrations officials for possible further denaturalization and deportation proceedings where eligible. This is a post that is now going viral of the disgraced, spineless, talentless tampon Tim Walz, who posted this 2 years ago in October of 2023, saying Minnesota's economy doesn't work without childcare providers, so we're giving them a raise. And you mean to tell me that this guy had no idea what was going on in his state? How 9 billion plus, that's just the tip of the iceberg, stolen from hardworking, law-abiding, tax-paying citizens, actual American citizens, and you've got a mayor eating Somali food and dancing Somali dances and speaking Somali like we're in the middle of a third world crap hole. I mean, what is going on? This is the United States of America. What is going on there? This man deserves federal prosecution, an orange jumpsuit to the max. I think Trump is just as fed up as you and I. And I actually think 2026, because we're going into the midterms, we're going to see some finally accountability. I also found this, check this out, the worst presidential candidate, the worst person to ever be anointed in any elected office, Kamala Harris, posted this during the election campaign in October of 2024, saying, I'm proposing a plan that will allow Medicare to cover in-home health care. And then look at all these posts following up on that. October 27, 23rd, 18, 9th. I will strengthen Medicare. I will expand Medicare. Video post about Medicare. Helping the sandwich generation with Medicare, strengthening Medicare. My plan will allow Medicare to cover in-home health care for seniors. That's really interesting, isn't it? I think this is extremely telling. Remember, this individual Kamala, this insidious ghoul, this unqualified DEI hire. Admittedly, Biden admitted she was a DEI hire, by the way. I'm not just saying that if you think I'm being cruel or what have you. This person actually thought that tampon Tim Walz was fit to be number 2 of the greatest country mankind has ever known, the United States of America. If that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about the Democrats, I don't know what does. This is one of the greatest accounts on X. This is the Minnesota staff for Human Health Services who posted this. These are actual employees that work in the Minnesota Health and Human Services Department. They've now created this reporting fraud account where they said, we reiterate, this is in response to the major breaking fraud in Minnesota. We reiterate, we warned the Democrats and Kamala Harris about Tim Walz before he was selected for VP. This was before Minnesota fraud hit the news. No response from either. Democrats, please consider what your values are. Fighting fraud and corruption isn't a partisan issue. And then they reposted this from September of 2024, citing an actual tag of Kamala Harris, then candidate for President of the United States, saying, Mrs. Harris, please listen to Minnesota state employees who work every day to deliver the best services possible to our state and people who expect no less and pay our wages. Tim Walz has caused incredible harm to our state and agencies. This is from the actual people, the hardworking, tax-paying, law-abiding citizens, the people who work. They see it every single day. They warned Kamala. He has caused incredible harm to our state and agencies, retaliated against whistleblowers, against fraud, and then they cite the receipts because Democrats never bring receipts. These are the receipts right here. You can see every agency marked by a date. There's also a note for a whistleblower, which amounts to $500,972,000. This account deserves these poor citizens, these poor hardworking citizens of Minnesota. They deserve medals for putting up with this garbage for this long. It is truly a sad state. And I just had to share this too, because I think this is really telling. Zero stories on the Somali daycare fraud. Associated Press, PBS, New York Times, NPR, Wall Street Journal, BBC, CNN, Washington Post. Zero stories about this major fraud. Tell me in the comments, why do you think that is? Well, there is one outlet that actually covered this story by Nick Shirley, which has been going massively viral, and that's Fox. Check out this clip right here, where Fox actually tried to call the number of the daycare center. Some of these centers claim to care for over 100 kids, and they're empty morning, noon, and night, and the state of Minnesota funded it anyway. Check out this real quick clip from Fox News on what they discovered following up on Nick's story. Check it out.
This is Quality Learning Center. I meant to say Quality Learning Center. We've arrived to ABC Learning Center. All the windows are blacked out. I would like to check a child in the daycare. Why? Can I speak to a manager? I would like to see if I could bring little Joey, my son little Joey here. Is there paperwork, or can I check out the daycare?
You got $2.66 million this year in funding and $2.5 million last year. We're just wondering where the kids are.
Hello, we'd like to ask where the money's going.
Wow.
You're right.
So
that
good.
is the old
Good journalism. By the way, Fox Digital reached out to that learning center to try and, get a statement from them. And apparently the number doesn't even work. So we did not get a response.
The number doesn't even work. It doesn't even work. What an absolute despicable. And I guarantee you Ilhan knew. Mentally, Ilhan knew. Tim knew. And here's a response from the Somali community. They're not happy at all that this is being exposed across the entire nation. Watch.
First things first, I'm actually so shocked that Trump is attacking us. I think Trump should be thanking us in multiple ways, and I'm going to explain. First things first, I think we are a good example of what the American dream can look like. Like Somali Americans, and it's making me sad and it's funny. Like I know Somali people are very funny. We're like the class clan who also happens to be valedictorian. Somalis in Minnesota are so successful. I take multiple trips a year to Minnesota and I leave so inspired. You have Somali only, like Somali owned law firms, Somali owned pharmacies, Somali owned everything you can think of. And it's so inspiring to see that what my community could do in just 30 years. Literally, we came to this country not speaking English, not knowing anything. We're Black, Muslim, we're immigrant, and we're able to be that successful. It should be really applauded. Like, I need Trump to stand up and applaud for us because it's shocking. Literally, my friend just moved to Minnesota and she was telling me how when she gave birth, it was an all Somali staff. Her midwife was Somali, her doctors were Somali, her nurses were Somali. Like, that is so beautiful to see and it should be celebrated, okay? Second of all, Trump, you should be thanking my people for giving a random Midwestern state that much clout and money. Like, I don't think, other than Chicago, I think Minnesota is really popping when it comes to tourism because of Somali Americans like me, okay? So you should be thanking us because Minnesota would have been nothing if Somalis didn't move there. Like, if we're being honest, like we have made that state pop and we have made it beautiful for the rest of the world. So you should thank us, and if you want, you can donate Minnesota to the great country of Somalia. Like, I think it's a nice trade-off. And last but not least, I'm so happy that people are discovering how funny, witty Somali people are. We're very confident. And although Trump said what he had to say, like, I want him to know, Yani, like, it didn't even, like, bother. Like, it didn't do anything to our confidence. We've heard everything you've said before. People always make fun of Somalia, da-da-da. But I still think I'm better than everyone. Like, God has made me Somali Muhammad. Like, I'm okay. I'm okay. On top of that, I'm Somali American, broski. Like, I'm winning on both sides. But yeah, it's just nice to see that everyone's realizing Somali people are very funny, very confident. And that's never gonna change. It has not changed since colonial days, baby boy. And it's not gonna change because somebody right now decided to make fun of us. We're actually winning the war, so. But yeah, that's all I have to say.
Oh, God. I don't even know what the hell that even means. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt because she's young. She seems like a child and she has no clue what she's talking about. If they're so confident and they're always successful and they come to this country and they contribute so much, why are you fleeing your country? Why didn't you do that in your own country? A. And then B, have you seen Somali lately? Somali is literally a fourth world, not even a third world crap hole. It is a fourth world crap hole. So why didn't you turn your country into America Part 2 if you guys are so ingenious and creative and innovative? I don't know. But the thing that really stuck out, she's just a child, so it's not really worth even retaliating or responding to. The one thing that was interesting, though, because this has to do with Islam, the most, destructive force. One of the most destructive forces in humanity. Everything Islam has touched has turned to absolute garbage. She said, we're winning the war. What does that mean? What war is that? Charlie Kirk said that Islam is not compatible with Western civilization. I tend to agree with that, but I would even go one step further. I don't think Islam is compatible with any civilization. East, West, North, South, doesn't matter. You look at any country that is ensconced within Islamic practices. And we're not talking about United Arabs. They're practically capitalists and they're all about America and Western ideals, etc. 99% of them have gone back to the Stone Age. There's famine, oppression, poverty, war, fighting, bloodshed, etc., economic upheaval. Not one has benefited from this ideology. So I can't wait to get your comments on all this. I'm going to keep you posted. I hope to God. As a matter of fact, here's the question of the day. Do you think accountability is finally going to come? Are we going to see Tim Walz? Are we going to see mentally Ilhan Omar? Are we going to see some of these people in handcuffs behind bars or sweating in a courtroom? Just give me sweating in a courtroom. Give me tampon Tim retarded Walz sweating in a courtroom and I'll be happy. Just give me that at the very least. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. As always, tap that thumbs up if you love America. Our mission is to make common sense go viral. You can help us. This is free. Even if you're watching on TV, just tap that thumbs up. It doesn't cost you a thing. Please. Thank you so much. Check out these videos coming up on the screen right here, just in case you missed them, especially this one right here I just posted. Watch that one next. Tap my face to subscribe and follow. It's absolutely free. And as always, may God bless you and may God bless the USA and all who defend her.